Hello, everyone. Welcome to this NeuroLive. And today we're going to talk about holiday tips for workaholics. I need this one. I don't know if you do, but I certainly do need this one. Okay, so first of all, what is a holiday? I love this. Okay, let's define a holiday. It's actually a way of being, a state of mind. So when you take a holiday, you shift into a certain state of mind that completely and utterly restores and regenerates and allows your mind-brain-body network to just chill and relax and get cleaned up, and kind of like a major housekeeping, a major, when you do a major cleanup in your house or repack or redo your house, that kind of thing. It's an elusive escape, which we need from mental health, from productivity or functioning or stress or all three. Okay. It's like looking at your life from a great distance. You kind of step out of your life for a while, and you see it over there, and you step into this. And we need this. Periodically, we need this in order for our mind-brain-body network to restore and regenerate. It makes things subtly different. So if you know how to holiday, things are subtly different in a good way. And that increases your resilience and your ability to bounce back quicker. Once you've established holidaying as a habit, you can enter this holiday mindset and this holiday mindset space at any time. So you may be thinking, what do you mean? I like holidays. Yeah, I know we all like holidays, but do you holiday properly? Does it do all of these things for you? And you can learn to do these things, because these are the things that really build that resilience into your mind-brain-body network and helps to change the neurochemistry, the way your anandamide, which is a bliss hormone, flows, which you want, because that actually then activates parts of your brain that help to create the correct cravings. So certain parts of your brain will grow bigger, and you'll have more focus, and you'll have more creativity, and you'll have a sense of joy and a sense of peace. And you crave that, and you'll grow that craving, and it's a good, healthy craving. Okay, it recharges and refreshes you, which are the most obvious. And in this state, you can re-enter life in a much more, and re-enter reality in a much more resilient way. So these are like major benefits of having a holiday. So it's like I'm trying to convince you to have a holiday, and like all of us want holidays all the time, but when you're a workaholic, do you really holiday? So let me ask you some questions to see, are you good or bad at holidaying? So here's some questions, and see if you're going to nod yes or no to these. So instead of unwinding, are you checking your emails on the beach? Or as you walk into the hotel door, or as you're in the car driving somewhere? Are you shifting over to your emails, your work emails, and just checking through your emails and texting and solving problems and doing stuff? Or are you just chilling, sitting in the back of the car, enjoying the beautiful hotel lobby, lying on the beach, absorbing the sun? Are you thinking and worrying about work, your kids? So here you're on holiday, on the beach, going for a walk, exploring the city, looking at this beautiful garden in this museum, and your mind is, I want about this at work, I want about this with my kids. Have you booked every moment that you're going to need a recovery holiday? Okay, so it's scheduled from beginning to end, because you're so used to scheduling your work day in your life that you apply that same process. Or are you able to just kind of go with the flow, wake up today and think, I don't want to do anything except sit around the pool, or just sit and stare out the window from a chair in my bedroom, or whatever? Do you have the mindset that you can relax by the pool and work on that project and read that research? So is your mindset, okay, I'll relax, I'm going to sit by the pool, and along comes your bag, out comes a computer, and you're by the pool, so you're trying to convince yourself that you're relaxing because you're at the pool or at the beach, but you're on your computer, you're listening to some meeting that you missed on Zoom, and you're replaying it, or you're reading that research paper or whatever. That's not holidaying, okay? So you're saying yes to these? Well, then you definitely need to listen to this podcast. So maybe you know someone who does. Have you merged with your work to the point that it's overtaken your identity and you feel kind of lost without working? So like, if you're not working, what do I do? I've caught myself sometimes doing this. I can kind of say yes to a lot of these, and I've had to really work on these things. And I'm embarrassed to say that, but I have. I've merged, we merge with whatever we focus on the most. Your psychoneurobiological network merges with what you pay attention to. So if you're paying attention to your work constantly and getting in that buzz, and I'm not saying don't pay attention to your work, so go listen to the podcast and the NeuroLive I did on why we should work only 35 to 40 hours a week and not 55 plus. But if you are merging with your work, whatever you're thinking about the most is growing, it's going to overtake your identity and you're going to feel lost without working. So when you're not working, you don't know what to do. You think, okay, well, what do I do? And you find yourself reading the news or doing things that are not relaxing. Can you have a conversation about anything else except work? Can you talk about something else besides your work? Can you sit down at dinner and with your loved ones or friends and not bring up work or not talk about what happened at work? Can you talk about anything else? That beautiful painting, that sunset, those dreams, those whatever. Can you go on holiday without your computer? Are you preoccupied with the same things on holiday that preoccupy you when you're at home and working? Workaholics literally need to unlearn the busyness, the out of control work ethic, the impulse towards productivity and getting things done. They need to get away from, they need to literally learn to get away from the responsibilities and obligations and anxieties of day-to-day life. You cannot constantly be busy, have this out of control work ethic, being totally constantly wanting to be productive and getting things done, and constantly wanting to be involved in those obligations and anxieties. We have to get away from all these things. We literally have to learn to unlearn these things. So if you said yes to even 2 or 3 of those questions, then you're not holidaying effectively. You need to say no to all of those questions. So the goal is for you to get to the point where you say no to all of the questions I've asked, which means that you don't do that anymore. You don't take a computer. You don't, so let me just jump back. You can not think of emails. You can just look at the beautiful lobby. You can whatever, all these things. You can go on holiday without your computer, all these things. So you need to, not say no necessarily, but can you go on holiday without your computer? That should be, if it's initially no, it should become a yes. So until it becomes a yes, you're not going to be holidaying properly. Are you preoccupied with the same things that preoccupy you when you're at home and working? If you're saying yes, well, then you're not holidaying properly. You need to say no. Okay. So you've got to learn to do that. It's not going to happen overnight. So you can go back and go through these questions. You can replay this NeuroLive, this podcast, and you can start working on those and you can put them into a neurocycle. And I'll give you an example as we're going along. So if you're saying yes to those, I said yes to, I was doing all of those things. I had to unlearn the busyness. I had to learn my out of control work ethic. Just for example, like now I'm busy with a whole series of, in a month of productivity where we pre-tape a lot of our NeuroLives and interviews and everything because of the rest of my schedule. So I had this crazy idea that, okay, it's Saturday and it's Sunday. I've got 2 extra days that I was going to relax, but actually I'm going to do 7 NeuroLives and do a 3-hour meeting and work on an interview. That would have taken me 15 hours and I wouldn't have done any of it properly because it would have been so exhausting. And I am 61 and I teach this stuff and I still did that. And I turned to my husband and I said, this is crazy. I can't do all of this. And he said, I've been telling you the same thing for years. You're a workaholic. You can't do that. You need the weekend to relax so you can do stuff on Monday. And what will you do on Monday? Not 7 this and do that. What's realistic? What can you do? So thank God for my husband. He helps me get perspective. So maybe sometimes you need, if you can't give yourself perspective, find someone that you can talk to give you perspective if you find yourself doing these things. Okay, so now we're going to go into some steps to help you unlearn the busyness, unlearn this out of control work ethic, unlearn this impulse towards productivity and getting things done, trying to tape 7 NeuroLives and do a 3-hour meeting and do an interview and plus other business. Actually, there were another 2 hours of meetings. Really? Okay. I have to learn to get away from that, get away from the responsibilities. You have to have a break from responsibilities and obligations and anxieties of day-to-day life. You have to take periodic breaks from them. Otherwise, they will wear you out. Your conscious mind and your brain cannot handle it. And your non-conscious mind is forever looking out for you. So when you start feeling exhausted and worn out and irritable and snappy and all that stuff, that is your non-conscious mind telling you, listen to the signals, gather aware of those signals. Okay, so here we go. Here are some steps to help you to start this process. First, step number 1, when you're packing, what not to pack. Make a list of what not to pack. For example, don't pack your computer. Don't pack your work notebook, if that's what you use. Don't pack your research papers. I mean, I'm talking, this is kind of, what I would normally pack. Don't pack your to-do list. Don't pack your work phone. Those are some examples. So make a list of what not to pack. If you pack them, it means you're going to work. So make a list of what not to pack, okay? Next tip. Step 2. Counter argue, or next step or tip. And while you're busy deciding what not to pack, you're going to find yourself arguing with yourself about all the reasons why you should pack it. So say them out loud and give yourself a reason why not to bring them, for example, and do it out loud. And if you can't give yourself a reason why, go to someone, like I go to my husband and he'll tell me why I shouldn't pack it. So sometimes you need to go to your husband, go to your wife, go to your partner, phone a friend, whatever. Text your therapist. Say, why shouldn't I pack my computer? Remind me again, I'm going on holiday. And you might just need someone to do that for you. Okay, so here's some arguments you could say to yourself. If I have my computer, I will be tempted to work. For me, that is a reality. The computer's there. I'm going to think, let me just quickly do something. If I have my to-do list, I'm going to waste my energy worrying about the fact that, oopsie, that's supposed to be am, not MA. What I'm not doing. So I'm going to use that energy that I could be using to enjoy that time on my holiday with my kids, family, whatever it may be that you're doing, or maybe just with your partner. Maybe you're alone on your holiday and I'm going to be worrying, oh my gosh, I haven't got that done. That's you're destroying all the good that you're busy doing. You could say to yourself, I'll waste my money because I won't enjoy myself. So if you've got your computer, you've got your to-do list, you're going to be sitting and working and not enjoying this holiday. So wasted your money. So, there's a good reason. Don't want to waste money. I'll be draining my energy. There's another argument. If I work on my computer, if I take my computer, I'm going to work. I'm going to drain this energy that it's already just about gone. I'm trying to put energy back, not drain even more and go down to the last dregs. Holidays are restoring and I'm in danger of wearing out. Tell yourself that. I'm doing this holiday because I need restoring and I'm in danger of wearing out if I don't have this holiday. So there's some arguments that you could counter-argue as you are deciding what not to pack. Step 3, learn from your dog. This sounds like such a weird one. When we become so consumed with our busyness and work, we can feel adrift on holiday and find it hard to settle. Have you ever experienced that? You get on holiday and you kind of just you don't know what to do with yourself. There's this whole day looming ahead and I don't have to do. I don't have all these things. I don't have my computer. I don't have my to-do list. I don't have my research papers. I don't have this. I don't have a team meeting that I've got to attend. And you can feel adrift. So train yourself. And here's a great way to train yourself. Watch and observe how a pet relaxes. For example, my dogs, I've got 2 little dogs, Simba and Nala, and they're 2 little Shih Tzus, and they love to lie in the sun, enjoying the warmth of the sun blowing through their hair or the sun on their skin. They just lie there and absorb it. Or the wind blows a little bit on our balcony in Miami. We're quite high up and the wind blows. Or they're just staring at the beach below. It's just so cute. So practice that. Can you do this? So you may literally have to learn to do this. Practice sitting with them and relaxing. So I've done that. As my little dog Nala loves to sit in the one corner of my balcony in Miami and she just sits there and she just stares. So I just sat on a chair next to her and I actually sat on the floor, pulled my little big deck chair over actually, and I just sat. And as long as she sat there, and she sat there for nearly an hour. Boy, was I all over the place 5 minutes I was quiet and then I was bored. And then eventually it took me about 20 minutes and I just sat staring with this dog. And then I've done it a few times. I've done it just sitting on the patio in the sun on the beach, because on the beach I immediately put on my earpods, listen to a podcast. Then my dogs are just staring at the sea and the people going past. Then take my earpods out, put my phone down and just stare at the people. Practice it. And the more I practice it, the easier it's getting. So learn from your dog, your pet, whatever. Learn to just sit and relax. Practice it. Don't just do it on holiday. Don't do it the day before, by the way. You need to build, and we're going to come to that now. Restrict answering texts and emails. This is, really obvious, obviously, but can be the hardest to follow as we so merge with our phones and our computers and our technology and our habits of on the phone, check the emails, check the text, respond to the emails, respond to the text, the next slide. We're just so merge with that, and that's okay. But we've got to actually practice our holidayness. We've got to be practicing this holidaying. So when we're on holidaying, in our holidaying mindset, we mustn't do that. So make a plan, obviously, for loved ones to be able to contact you in an emergency. So have some sort of plan. Maybe there's many ways things you can do on your phone so that if it's emergency, you can respond to that. You can check. If it's not an emergency, ignore. Make a plan for colleagues to only contact you in an emergency. You really have to stress that. If it's not an emergency, they don't contact you. Set up plans long before you go on holiday for the work you need done. So, for example, I have a very busy travel schedule coming up with conferences plus a holiday, plus a few other, things that are lots of stuff going on. Okay. But there's a holiday in between, which I'm very excited about. So I'm preparing for that. I'm preparing for my holiday. Literally. This is what I'm trying to teach you on this as well. Us workaholics need to prepare for holidays. So set up plans. So I am doing all these recordings that I'm telling you about, all these pre-recordings. And we always do pre-record, but I'm pre-recording extra ones. I've set up a plan and I'm pre-recording. But I had this crazy, insane workaholic plan, as I told you, to record 20 Neurolives in like 2 days sort of thing, which is insanely impossible. So I changed my schedule with advice from my husband and got perspective and going to pre-record. But instead of giving myself 2 days, I've given myself 6 days. So it's little things like that. So set up in advance so that otherwise, if I don't do that, as I'm on holiday, I'm going to have to stop and do this, stop and do that. So I'm going to have to work on holiday. So set up whatever it looks like in your life. I just gave you an example. Set it up. And then maybe there's certain meetings or things coming up and whatever. Okay. Before you answer any email or text, ask yourself the question, does this really need answering now? So if you've fallen into the trap of looking at, it wasn't an emergency, but you still looked at it and you're just like, I want to answer this so badly. Ask yourself, does this really need answering now? Can it wait till I get back? And if you can't answer that and you still go and ask someone. Go and ask your husband, wife, friend, loved one, partner, anyone, just to try and say, do you really think I should answer this now? And, answer yourself saying, okay, if I did answer this now, what's it going to do? If I don't answer it now, what's it going to do? Have a little discussion with yourself or with someone else if you can't do it on your own. Step 5, practice forgetting to worry about worries. I like this one too. I like all of these. You can just not allow yourself to not think about work projects.